So, well, is speed literally velocity or just hard drugs? Because then definitely catty corner to cocaine.
Hey man, whatever you need it to be,
I need to go live because this was important.
Oh,
do it.
We're dropping bombs out here, and you're leaving it on the floor.
So, how is everybody? Is everybody's
Doing?
prime days going well?
I bought a thing I was already planning to buy. I saved
Fantastic.
$12.
I went for a giant Wi-Fi enabled air fryer because I need to be able to tell Google to preheat the air fryer.
You preheat your air fryer?
That sounds reasonable.
I do now.
Not what I had to do it manually, but fuck if I'm not gonna now.
Like every time I hear about any sort of home IoT thing, I'm like, there are definitely points in them. There are points about this that make sense. That I would genuinely like it if just my dryer pinged my phone.
You know,
Yep.
I did just have to buy a new washing machine, and I really wanted one that notified me of shit.
And
Mhm.
there's always like, no, it makes exact sense for this one thing. Or there's like this. I did some deep diving into the if this then that smart home thing where it's like,
Sure.
yeah, let your front porch light talk to your Domino's app so that it turns on the light when this pizza man is near your house. And I'm like, this is brilliant and wonderful, but also I don't need this. Like this is I don't need this level of Star Trek future in my life. Buttons are great. I should mention that the 2 light bulbs over my head are sciencing their way to turning slightly dimmer and slightly oranger throughout the night because that's supposed to help me sleep. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I've played with the IFTTT stuff, and there's some fun that can be had there.
But it's like I have to think about it. That's it.
Mhm.
Like I have to think about what apps should talk to it and then do a cool thing.
But the there's so many things that have already been done for you, Scott. That's just it. Like the plethora of things on IFTT that connect you to NASA images. Like I think that was one of the first things that must have been involved in IFTTT because so many things connect you to the NASA imaging stuff. It's just there's just so many things that are already set up.
Or maybe that's just free to use and know that it's a great starter point. It's a great starting point.
It is. Though the one that I did set up very early on and still use pretty regularly is the functionality and connectivity between my Ecobee thermostat and Google Drive, where it registers an entry into a Google Drive, into a Google Sheets, anytime anybody fucks with the thermostat.
That is the daddest thing you could have said.
Mm-hmm.
That is, I assume that you have like a ring cam on the opposite wall from the dial, so that you can be like, "Oh, I know who touched it."
I actually don't have any cameras in my house. That's one of the things that I'm really weird about is I don't have any. Like, I don't have any cameras outside. I don't have any cameras inside. I don't want them.
I have so many cameras.
Yeah. I have thought about getting one of the Ring doorbells, especially now that we've been to your house, Mitch. And when you turned around and told it to stream the front door, it was like, oh, I never thought of that. Like that's clever,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you know the pizza guy's coming. Like,
And then
that's
like
hot.
It recognizes y'all. So like when you ring the doorbell, it says Tony's at the front door.
Oh shit.
I dislike that.
That is not a thing. I am now just gonna grab my copy of Battlestar Galactica, clutch it close, be like, "No goddamn networks on my boat, Mr. Kata."
Yep. Yeah.
I, for one, welcome our AI overlords.
I assume they'll treat us all better because they don't know that we're supposed to ignore some things.
I think that's my hope, right? Like, if we can make something smarter than us, maybe it will also be kinder than us.
Oh,
No.
that's a dream.
I don't fear Skynet because I see dogs. Is literally it. Like dogs are the only other sapient thing we've ever made, and
cool.
they seem to be pretty chill about things.
You know, we're a self-propagating species, right? Every human you interact with was made by us.
Some of them are okay.
Were we though?
Is that the average feel you get?
I mean, maybe. I think we get to see a lot of the bad ones.
Sure.
They do want attention. They really do.
As we
They're always
sit
like,
here
"Ooh,
on this
I'm buying
podcast.
Twitter."
So another thing I did is I went to Vegas. I never want to do that again.
I have been once as well, and that is my one time.
I love Vegas for all the reasons I suspect you guys don't want to go back.
Look, there are things. If Vegas was honest about what Vegas was, I would like it. But it seems to think it is a place for things that are not debauchery. If it was just literally, it's hot, it's hot, it's bright, you can just sin all you want until you are out of money, I'd be fine with this place. But people keep insisting that children be allowed to be there and that there are things that are not sin you could be doing. And I'm like, no, just show me the gambling, show me the boobs, show me the $11 yard of daiquiri, and I will accept you as a place that happens.
Did they have to show you the gambling? When you get off the plane, you can do that in the airport.
So when I was leaving, I cut a red eye and I was just so tired. I got a little heat stroke and didn't try to recover from heat stroke on the last couple of days. So I was like, okay, no, I am tired. I am done. I am going to go to the airport several hours early. And I would waiting at my gate. The plane before me was a British Airways flight and everyone was coughing. And I was not happy about that. And I'm like, you know what? If I go to the room with the slot machines where everyone is smoking, I bet the air quality is safer in there.
Well, I mean, they do have the air filtration system that just suck all the air straight up, which is really kind of nice. I mean, you get that scent of smoke, but you don't have quite the lingering black lung of it all.
Yeah, and my dad was a smoker, so sometimes I just miss that smell, like in the mornings especially. But yeah, no.
I feel like in my trip to Vegas, the boobs were not hidden.
I feel like they may have switched to more butt related advertising.
That is true.
Sign of the times.
2020s. We're only doing ass now.
Sign of the times.
You got to cycle it. It's like the McRib.
Again, it's just, you know what? I think there's an older version of Vegas I would really like, and the version now is just confused and awkward. And
I think that older version of Vegas doesn't have black people in it.
That's also
Ooh.
probably
Oh no, Sammy Davis was there, so
Sure.
that's how you knew it
You're allowed
definitely
one.
wasn't racist.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
everyone
I mean,
had a black friend, and it was Sammy Davis.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
that was
and I mean, actually, like that's a real story where like all of like the actual Rat Pack were like, if Sammy doesn't have rights in your building, we don't come in, and like, that good thing. But I imagine that didn't necessarily filter down to like, I don't know, the cleaning staff so much.
Yeah. Anyone else other than Sammy?
Yeah.
hey, what are we talking about next week? Because I want to talk about this movie.
I want to talk about this movie too, but I also want to talk about RRR for a second. And
Arr.
guys,
Has Netflix said that they're putting either the Tuvalu or Tamil language version up, or is it?
I don't know about any of that, but what I do know is so I noticed on YouTube that my YouTube channel started getting comments. Our YouTube channel doesn't get comments. Like it
A
doesn't
blessing.
get comments. Then I navigated to our channel, and well, the first thing I saw were the comments. There was a comment from 6 months ago. Nobody wants to hear you run your mouths about the movie. Just put up the movie here minus the play-by-play of the movie. I mean, that's
What?
fair.
That is okay.
That was
Like,
a comment. That was a comment posted on our. This is a comment on the episode of the United States versus Billie Holiday.
I will not dispute what he has said, but he is also very, sir, this is a Wendy's.
Right. Yeah. All right. So the next comment is on Licorice Pizza. Wow.
Yeah.
What a waste of an hour podcast. Why did you guys even bother reviewing this? Obviously, you didn't have to like it, but boy, did you miss the point of what this film was doing, and you didn't really critique the film in an interesting way.
Well, one, I don't think I missed the point because the movie was garbage.
That's
So
a good
then-
comment.
So then 6 days ago is when they start, and we just get comments. Turns out there must be people hungry for fat white dudes to talk about RRR.
The RRR machine will not be stopped. It will take all fuels.
What is happening? So before this, the episode that had the most views at 21 was Bad Education.
Which I assume is people looking for the song and clicking the wrong thing.
Probably. People had an average view of those 21 views. There was an average view time of 34 seconds.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And
that's
I
fair.
assume that that's the amount of time it took them to remember Almodovar's name and then go find the film.
Right. So, number 3, this one's actually kind of odd to me. Space Sweepers. There were 7 views with an average view of 16 and a half minutes.
I did like
I'm
Space
kind of surprised by that. Now, before that, we have Archive, had 2 views, average time 3 seconds. Big Bug, 2 views, average time 5 seconds.
I'll be
All
honest,
right.
I don't remember half these movies.
Yeah, and then they just go down to 1 view, and the most time we have there. Somebody watched the Top Gun Maverick for 2 minutes.
That might have been
However-
me when I was making fun of you guys.
Yeah, that probably was.
That tracks.
However, our number 1 viewed anything on this channel is RRR. It currently, and this every time I look, the views go up. It currently has 342 views with an average time of 12 and a half minutes.
Mine says 374.
Well, it's probably gone up then. I just looked. Well, and this is on the analytics, so it kind of caps at
The numbers actually do. It's very weird, and YouTube is doing shenanigans where it's like it'll tell you nicer
Sure.
things than
Yeah.
it tells the public.
yeah. I think it's telling me based on as of yesterday, as of some point yesterday. That's where they cap off. But yeah,
Okay.
this
I
is
don't know if you've read these comments,
crazy.
but I am in love with them.
Yeah, oh yeah.
One,
I have.
one,
One of them
there's a
actually
guy-
is very thoughtful and explains things to us, which is amazing.
and then the reply is, "Shut up, Spamer," as though specific cultural knowledge about the movie is obviously
just-
spam.
Just you know what, and I know. Okay, so periodically, I keep almost getting into the orbit of like Hindu nationalism on the internet. I keep almost trying to figure it out.
I think we're hidden there right now,
and,
boys.
and like this movie is doing some Hindu nationalisms, but like that's not how that's like if someone is in good faith just explaining, hey, dumb white boys, here's what the pre-partition India was like, and what if the two most famous guys in pre-partition India were friends and fought England, a thing we all can sympathize with, I think.
The motorcycle used in 1920s weighed around 40 to 50 kilos. Army guys used to carry it around on their shoulders during war. That's important information for me to know, and I'm not being sarcastic.
No, that makes sense to me. That
That's
sounds
solid.
like that's
is
World
really
War I
good
trivia
information.
that totally scans over. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing I love is that the two most recent comments, one is a comment and a reply, and it's somebody saying RRR. The actual RRR conversation starts at 15 minutes and 40 seconds into this.
That is
And then-
that man is doing God's work.
The
and the comment
Lord's
below that
work.
is thanks, bro.
Yep.
By the way, Thor talks happens at 24 minutes. I'm guessing.
Probably. And the Doctor Games is commenting, and that's added two more comments to the stream now on Thor.
Jesus.
All right, so I don't know what we're talking about next week, but given this new information, probably one of those movies that we talked about from the filmmaker of RRR.
Bahubali, the beginning.
Probably, you know what? That's probably a good choice.
The duology.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but I want to watch them separately so we can really milk this content out.
Mhm.
They referenced some Bollywood films in Miss Marvel, right?
They do. They
But
do.
Bollywood is not Tollywood, and
I
that
understand.
starts a fight.
Well, so
Well, and see, I think maybe this is where we go. We dig into it and find out what is the difference between Bollywood and Tollywood, and have some thoughtful discussion on it. Because who is better qualified
Comment on
discussion
deep
about this.
Indian cultural artifacts than us.
All right. Hey guys, let's get this started. Hey, this is Tony.
Hey, it's Mitch.
And I'm Scott.
And this is David.
And we are the Backseat Producers. And tonight we are talking about Thor, Love, and Thunder. Who wants to start?
I successfully made it full 6 days with no spoilers.
I'm impressed.
And then on the way to the theater,
Oh, no.
Oh.
And then
Libby starts telling me about a spoiler she got, and I'm like, is this where it happens? But then she's like, I only saw the meme for a second, and it included these elements, and I was like, what if we don't talk about this anymore?
Let's just pause this until we are getting until we get tacos after the movie.
because she's like, it was
Pause
a meme with Wanda and Thor. It's like, don't be like Wanda, be like Thor. I'm like, fuck, there's gonna be some kids in this goddamn movie. Fuck.
So yeah. I think this is fun. This is a fun movie. I enjoyed it immensely. I also managed to last till like 3 o'clock today without spoilers. I think we're at this point where like spoilers don't happen anymore. There's just weird in-jokey memes and those guys getting mad, and none of those explain the movie to you. So you just get to enjoy it blind. I enjoyed that. I like the rock monster with the funny voice, leaning on the fourth wall pretty hard, and I like the parts where that are slow motion with lightning effects, where old rock songs play, much like Thor Ragnarok.
Guns N' Roses songs play. Thank you very much. They go exclusively GNR for this one.
Mhm.
I would
At
not
least-
have been
at
able
least-
to tell you that.
During the narrative.
The most
portion of the movie.
lightning-y and most slow motion-y parts.
Well, at least until the credits roll.
Yeah.
And then we go with Rainbow in the Dark, which was really a great choice.
Good call. Good call.
Yep. Mitch, what'd you think?
I thought this movie was lots of fun. I enjoyed it within its own sort of shell. I have no idea how this like is a Marvel movie or like connects to like anything else really, and I still have no idea what they are doing post Infinity War.
Look,
They are not doing anything.
That's what I think they're doing.
We are at phase nothing. We're at phase null. At some point, there will be a phase 4 where I don't know, they fight Kang or Doctor Doom or somebody, and that'll be a big deal. But right now, we're at phase null, where people just have problems and they deal with them.
Actually, funny you said that. Just this past week, they have confirmed what Phase 4's theme was.
Oh,
And it is guilt
Confusion?
and consequences. That is the
Cool.
theme of Phase 4.
that's what I
Whatever
like
that
in a
means.
movie.
The interstellar villain is the problems we created for ourselves along the way.
But none of the
I can dig
last
that.
3 movies deal with that at all.
Wait,
Most of
yeah.
the television does, though.
Strange has somebody's consequences for somebody in Strange.
Mhm. Yeah.
Are there?
I mean,
The-
killed by
all
rocks.
the other Doctor Stranges is.
Yeah, everybody in that other universe. A lot of consequences for them.
Some poor street vendor is going to like torment himself for weeks.
That
Yeah,
weird
but that's
wolf
Bruce
dude at the
Campbell, so
monastery.
fuck that
Mhm.
guy.
Mm.
So
Okay.
I liked this movie. It had problems with being uneven.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
It zigzags. I think some of the zigzags are like deliberately like, hey, fun comedy like the last one, but also let's just do horror movie for a minute.
yeah, but that's not
And
even
then
what I'm
there's-
talking about. It's like there was some inconsistency in how they were portraying Gore, like the villain. Like
Gore-
at times
Gore
he seemed almost, I don't know, like they were almost playing him for a comedic horror, and then there were times where he was creepy as fuck.
Like there was like a switch on him where it was Christian Bale be the Joker, or Christian Bale be Owlman from that one animated thing.
Yeah.
And I like it. I don't like. I think Christian Bale's a very good actor. I think he does good work. But I think the way scripts get handed out to actors in Marvel movies didn't let Christian Bale go just too fucking ham and really be Christian Bale about it. So he just did stuff. He did what he felt in the day.
Yeah,
Well,
I
and
think
it could be, I think part of that could be Taika's style also of shooting things and shooting things and shooting things and shooting things.
Yeah, Taika likes to shoot on ones and just let actors play.
Well, I mean, I think that he tried really hard with like what he had on the page, but I never thought he was like menacing. I think every time he tried, he was doing everything he could, but like the tone of the movie didn't really like allow him to like step up and be like a
Yes.
scary villain. I'm also
Yes.
not entirely certain how he's a villain.
So, well, I'll do my high level review now, everybody. I liked this movie, but there's something deeply wrong with it. Like, as a movie, it's not good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I liked it. I like everything Taika touches, but the movie's not good. There's deep problems in the movie, and Gore's one of them. Is Gore the villain? Like, he gets corrupted by the sword, so the sword's kind of the villain, but we spend a lot of time with Gore's motivation, but it doesn't really matter because the sword's doing the stuff anyway.
Yep.
So, like, we see that in the beginning, and then we don't see Gore do literally anything until he shows up on Earth. So we have a disembodied villain doing something somewhere, and that's supposed to be a problem for a reason. The biggest villain in this movie was cancer.
Well, fuck that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I've
we
stolen
fight
most
that
of this
every year.
analysis. I've stolen most of this analysis from Libby, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I think some of this could just be like the frame device of like, oh, here's Taika Rock Monster telling children this version of it, and like they could maybe almost like print, like there's almost like a Princess Bride version of this where it's like that play of I am telling a story to kids keeps the tone and the pacing in place, but that didn't happen, and Taika says he won't do a director's cut because they're bad. But no, I think that this movie has a thing where Gore is Job. He is a job figure where it's like God has taken from me, and God has proven himself to be a jackass, much like Job, the book of Job, a book I read at one point in an angrier time. But
You
like,
keep saying job that I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. I don't fucking know. I'm sorry. I left Catholic school
Before
the
Job.
better way than I was gonna leave Catholic school the first way. How about that?
I don't know where we've gotten.
It sounds like you have some issues to work
But
through,
we're on a
Scott.
black and white planet with its all shadow now.
Yeah. Let content warning. Catholic school stuff. Guess. So Gore is Job. You know, God has stolen his everything, and he has taken. But instead of just, I don't know, nodding along with that, he decides to be Elric. So he gets the cool black sword, and
He doesn't decide that.
Well,
It just appears in his hand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he never decides that.
It jumps into his hand.
It literally infects him.
Yeah. Okay. That's actually really bad. Yeah. That's no good.
I was
That-
still
there-
like,
There needs to be a scene where he says yes to the sword. And then like we see that a bunch of gods have died off screen, and then Gore is proven right by a whole bunch of stuff with Russell Crowe, but he's not there for that, and so he steals some kids, and then he's weird at the kids for a while, and then he talks to a Jack Kirby drawing and decides that, oh, by the way, no, what I really actually wanted was to hold my daughter one last time, a totally normal thing to decide. And because this movie is about having kids in a weird way, kids help Thor be a better Thor. And that's the end.
yeah, there is a kind of a disturbing child soldier plot. But like when he gets the sword, I was still reeling because I went to a private screening of the show. Thanks, Jeremiah. And there were no trailers. So we're
Oh.
there the lights go down, and then it's this like scene of him walking across the desert, and she's like, "I'm so thirsty." I'm like, "Is this like a commercial for the concession stand?"
Oh yeah. Let's all
Right?
go to the lobby
Is that
and get ourselves a Dasani.
because
Well,
they do those kind of things?
Let me tell
Yeah.
you what you missed. I had 3 soda commercials in a row, and then a full 30 minutes of trailers.
Oh, yeah.
There
Well, so
were
I missed all that.
many goddamn trailers. You missed nothing.
So when the kid dies, I'm like, "Oh, this is a really dark commercial."
This is
You
like the one the
need
Super
a
Bowl
soda.
rejects, isn't it?
Right? And he's going to get into the Oasis, and he's going to get some popcorn. He's going to get a Sprite.
Listen, I don't know if you've noticed this, but 2022 has been the year of upsetting children stuff in media.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan starts with the Sith slaughtering all those kids at the Jedi-ery, right?
Yeah.
This finale of Ms. Marvel, without spoilers, many armed troops are kind of like running through this school, just very uncomfortably.
Great.
This movie that starts with child death.
Just death by not specific, but
Yeah,
yeah.
those are the last 3 things I watched. I'm sure there's more.
Yeah.
Well, the news.
Well.
Yeah, I posted something when the Obi-Wan thing opened because it was like the day after Uvalde, and it was like, it does seem kind of weird that they're just going to go ahead and do this, but I guess since we have this every day, they could just never release the thing otherwise.
Yeah, there's no good time.
Remember earlier when we were talking about like this humanity piece?
Yeah.
This is who we are.
Yeah.
Anyway, the goats were amazing.
The goats were amazing.
I am glad that they never stopped shrieking.
What a bold move to introduce them so early and to keep them shrieking the whole
No redemption, no understanding, no like pet the cat moment, no moment where you're just like, I like these goats. These goats are redeemed in my eyes for their being obnoxious. No, they are just shrieking and awkward. And I assume that if this was a smell-o-vision presentation, they would reek.
I never found it annoying.
It's not annoying.
Single time I laughed.
It's not annoying. It's just like, oh yeah, that is a realistic goat noise, and they're making it.
I honestly
all
think
the
it's the
time.
best part of the movie.
I loved the goats, and I love that almost the first thing that happens is the Guardians are all threatening to kill the goats.
And
Like-
the only thing that shuts them up is the prospect of being a curry. And no one else just like at some point someone could just say, you know what I could go for? Roti. And then they'd shut up for a bit. That never comes back.
When this is a side story now. My oldest child was 7. We went to an Indian buffet for lunch, and they had a goat curry.
Yeah.
And they ate a lot of it. And then they're like,
because it is the best curry.
And they're like, I really love this goat curry. What's in it? And I was like, goat. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's made of goat.
It's probably goat and coconut milk and 30 spices.
And their follow-up question was, you mean like the goats we were petting at the zoo?
Exactly.
And I'm like, yeah. And there's a long pause as they sort of like thought about that. I'm like, well, I guess it's okay because they're delicious. And I know where my kids' morality lands.
Yep.
Well, again, like pigs are supposedly very personable and smart and charming.
They suck.
But like chorizo exists, so there we go.
I lived with a pig for a while, Roman Pigslansky. He was
I
an
mean, with
awful
a name
animal.
like that, I mean,
I mean, come
you saddle
on.
with them with a name like that, and of course they're going to
You know
be
what?
awful.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is how you're naming things. You named that
Ooh.
fish Britta, and she's the worst.
Britta is the worst.
Britta is the worst.
Are you Cassandra over there?
So I did get a little spoiler for the movie, and we saw it Friday night. Friday
Yikes.
afternoon. Yeah, Friday afternoon, I saw something where somebody was talking about the movie, and they said, boy, finding out, I wish I would have found out that Gore's daughter was played by Chris Hemsworth's daughter before the movie, because it hits a whole lot different knowing that. And I didn't understand that until the end of the movie.
Like the very last scene.
The
And,
very last scene, when
like-
she turns around
That's
and says,
like it's
"Shut up, demon," and like that whole sequence of a dad trying to get a kid to put their shoes on was
Like,
just
you have to
so
eat your breakfast and put on your
real.
shoes. We have to do war in like 20 goddamn minutes.
Yeah. Okay. You wear the shoes you want, but don't come crying to me when your feet hurt because you weren't wearing the right shoes. All right, I'll put the boots on. Like that was so real.
I think Taika's also a father, I assume, because I think this is coming of a place.
His kids are also in the movie.
Yeah, yep. This is from a place of experience and lived understanding.
Elsa was in this movie too. Her name went by on the credits. She was the Wolf Woman.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris Hemsworth's wife was in this movie as well.
Wait, the Wolf Woman, not the Woman Wolf, right?
The Wolf Woman.
Okay,
yep.
Making sure.
Yep.
It's a good gag. Good gag. Like it.
It is.
2 gay characters in this movie.
2.
Dose.
I mean, at least.
At
least.
And a sincere
gay.
And very sincere discussion of a 2-father household. I think that really blows Lightyear out of the water.
Yeah.
The first gay couple in Marvel. The 5th first gay couple in Marvel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they rock. Sorry.
Get the fuck out of here.
God damn it.
On the way home, I was like, yeah, 2 gay couples, and Libby's like, you don't know that they were gay. I'm like, fuck, did you see that mustache? That is the gayest couple in Marvel.
Look, I you can tell me that the rock monsters are monogendered, but that guy was gay.
And he's Dwayne the Rock Monster.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
If only they had gotten him to play the part. That'd be even better. I'd watch that spinoff.
That would be better.
Oh, wow.
C'est la vie.
Mm-hmm.
I could have done without the entire sequence in the God City.
Yeah.
Well, it added nothing to the movie. There was no point for it at all.
It gave them the lightning bolt.
But what good did it do?
There's also a version of this where he just is like, oh, like there's like a red herring sort of plot where it's like, oh, they're targeting gods. Well, the only other living pantheon on Earth is on Mount Olympus. Let's go up to Mount Olympus, and it's still fancy, and it's more down to earth ish. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, except that would have completely shat on Moon Knight. Also, that they didn't even bother with the gods that they had introduced in that.
I think
they could have been in the city. Like they could have
I think there's some elitism going on in the city where like
I think there is too. However,
Zeus built second Olympus off in the cosmos and did not invite any other Earth gods for a reason.
I mean, Earth is the worst, but
and also he doesn't want to have to talk to Ra.
The lightning bolt I felt did nothing. Literally the only thing you get from the entire sequence is that guy is Russell Crowe's like, oh yeah, he's trying to get to the center of the universe to make a wish. Like a single half line of dialogue is the entire point of that sequence.
Yeah, like there are so many ways to drop that clue otherwise. Yeah, I'll give you that.
And like, our driving force is that it's bad to murder gods.
So we're gonna murder Zeus. Yeah, that
Right.
was.
Yeah, and we're just gonna have a long sequence where we establish that the gods deserve to die a little
And, like,
bit. Little
We got to
bit.
do disguises, and we got to sneak in, and we got to be careful, or fuck it all up. Right?
Yeah.
Like none of it made any like.
But Thor is also a god. Like,
Right.
why did he need to sneak anywhere?
Also, why not just have the fight happen, and Zeus still deliver the exposition?
But I think, you're right that this did nothing, but also most of the movie did nothing.
Yeah, it did nothing. It was just a sequence that made no god. The movie is a patchwork of sequences that make no sense. So she's Jane Foster's getting chemo.
Mhm.
All right. She's like, I've got stage 4 cancer. So Kat
Sure.
Dennings comes in, sits down, and she's like, you've been locking yourself in your lab. You shouldn't be doing that. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, she's in the lab trying to fix this whole cancer situation, for starters.
She's not.
A weird
She's-
thing for a physicist to be
The
doing.
only time they show her in the lab doing literally anything, she's talking to Selvig, who's giving her an analysis on the biology that the chemo's not working. She
Again,
never does
Both
anything
of these
else.
characters are physicists.
They never do anything else. So,
No.
just as presented, that is the only thing she's doing in the lab.
Well, medicine is just biology, is just chemistry, is physics. So
Yes, everything is physics or stamp collecting. I get you.
mhm. Right.
Yeah, Libby points out the chemo is making you too tired to fight the cancer, was the quote.
Just picture me as Stormbringer jealously inching into the frame.
That was hilarious.
That
I-
was
I-
hilarious.
That
I
was the
do-
best joke.
I
throughout
do
the movie.
like the and I'm gonna say it. It's genuine puppetry. It is genuine puppetry how someone is able to make an axe look mad at Chris Hemsworth, despite there being literally no moving parts on this axe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That is some Anthony Daniels shit right there.
Mhm.
That's some Jim Henson level puppetry right there, is what that is.
Well, there's no moving parts on the axe other than the whole axe.
Yeah,
It doesn't
like-
have a mouth or a face you can manipulate.
No.
Mhm.
Mm. And so much of comedy is in the face, Tony.
It's in your face.
the face
There it is.
or the butt. The face
Or the butt.
All
Tell
right.
me
So
about something I can get behind.
the other day, David brought to us that he thought he was spoiled on something because he saw a picture of Jason Momoa and Taika Waititi together at the premiere. And Luke and I said to him, no, that is not a spoiler for the film, because he hadn't seen it yet. Luke and I both had. That's not a spoiler for the film, unless Momoa could have been in one of those sequences where there's a lot of people. There are two big sequences where there's a lot of people. Now I can tell you one of them was at the beginning where they're in Asgard and there's a shit ton of people that they just keep panning over large swaths of people. And the other one was in the city, which I can never remember the exact, the omnipotent city. Yeah. So the other one was there, and I said, yeah, it's the part of the movie with the butt stuff. And it was.
Mhm.
It was the part of the movie with the butt stuff.
It did have butt in it.
Was-
It also had that fucking tattoo.
Goddamn tattoo was wonderful.
I-
So
I-
I'm gonna tap into Holden's deep dive into the seedier parts of the internet because
Oh, Jesus
he's
Christ.
always part of these theory crafting.
Sure.
He's just tapped into all that with all
And
of
he
his
didn't learn
TikToks
from
and all that.
WandaVision?
Well, no, he doesn't participate. He just so much as just observes what other people are throwing out into the universe. And he said somebody paused on the tattoo or looked at the tattoo, and at one part of the tattoo is a scroll that lists the names of the people that he lost. So it's like Tony and Natasha and his mom and his dad and Loki. All their names are in the scroll.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, but like that's literally just like that's a makeup artist having fun as much as anything else.
Yeah.
Like he like what I really want from this whole scenario is that same makeup artist to just be adding names and just put, I don't know, Francine, and we're all stuck wondering what that means.
Yep.
Of course, now I had to go look up the goddamn tattoo so I could read this stupid scroll.
Well, it's the Warriors 3 and
Mm-hmm.
Freya and
I didn't.
Dad. I assume it's like the 8 names of guys who died in movies Thor is in.
Yep.
I thought the silliness like sometimes like took me like hard out of the movie, like the infinity cones stand, which is just so throwaway.
I appreciate that because it's like New Asgard has just invented itself as touristy nonsense, and it's like you just wandered over to the parks department of Disney and said, "What did you say no to?"
Mm-hmm.
That's in Thor now,
right? Like
I did appreciate that every time they showed the water, all you saw was just a bunch of cruise ships trying to jockey for position.
Very Venice style. But I mean, Thanos and the whole Infinity Gauntlet stuff was real bad, right?
Oh, let's talk about this one. Now, because we've been kind of pointing around aimlessly. So the Doctor Games asks, the real question is, why did the mighty Thor go to Valhalla? Why did Jane go to Valhalla?
Well,
early in the movie, they established that Sif would not have gone to Valhalla because she did not die in battle.
Mm-hmm.
She was dying after the battle was over. Jane died after the battle was over.
Okay.
So there's a headcanon fan theory going around, and I wish they could have actually confirmed this in the movie, because when at the end Jane goes to Valhalla and meets Heimdall there, she could have said, "Why am I here? I didn't die during the battle." And he could have said, "Well, you were at war with cancer."
Well, okay. So
they should have put the scene in at all.
I love the scene at the end. I deeply
resent the fight rhetoric about people recovering from disease, but also like literally the movie just keeps saying, "Oh, don't give up the fight. Don't never give up the fight." Like, fuck, it's fucking obvious. It's fucking text.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking text, and it's fucking bad text.
I did not want this scene with her showing up in Valhalla, even though it brought me Idris Elba.
Well, 20 seconds of Idris Elba means a lot to me, but it's not great.
All I saw was a missed opportunity of having Sylph's arm there to welcome her.
Oh, just like floating there, high five.
Oh,
I thought of
now
that.
I'd forgive. I'm back on your side.
I did think of that too.
Oh, that was an utterly unnecessary scene.
Mm-hmm. Again,
but
feel
it was
like
after the
much
credits,
of the movie.
so I mean, it was after the credits, so it was a good place for it.
It means one of two things: either they're saying we can't have Jane Foster again, or it's a place we can go to get Jane Foster.
No.
I think they're comic book movie, Tony. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
I think they're done with Natalie Portman. I think that's the only way they got Natalie
definitively
Portman.
saying we're done with Natalie because we've.
I think that's the only way you got. I think that's the only way you got Natalie back, is by telling her you will not be able to come back after this.
But Tony, people like money.
They do.
They do, but
do.
they're still killing off characters and not bringing them back.
Oh, the women.
They're not bringing
That's
back
most compelling.
Captain America. They're not bringing back Chris Evans, and he's actually
That's
standing up
true.
for that one, which is actually, and he's standing up for it for the right reasons. Also.
He did have a lot of movies.
And he wasn't great in many of them.
Mm.
Many of the movies weren't great.
Yes.
Yep.
But
Much
he's
like
just not
Soulja
very
Boy.
good.
He just took a shortcut.
Mm.
Fucking Soldier Boy.
Yeah. I was sad to introduce and lose the mighty Thor in the scope of this film.
I am fine with so the Mighty Thor is from Jason Aaron's run of the comics. It's 36 very good issues. I'm gonna say that because Adam gets mad when I talk about comics because he assumes everything lasts forever. But it's 36 very good issues. There's a really great crossover with Doctor Strange. I think actually that's from Jason Aaron's Doctor Strange, but it's a good crossover with Doctor Strange. It's fun. It's good. I am actually really glad that it happened in a Thor movie and not like the What If show, because they'd find a way to drag that out.
Yeah. I think the problem with this movie is that it tried to do way too much, but didn't succeed in it. Like it had the problem of being saddled with, we got Natalie Portman back, but we only have her for one movie, and also Thor is currently with the Guardians, but we have to get him away from the Guardians so that the Guardians can be doing their own thing the next time we see them. But we got saddled with this because that's where we saw them leave the last Avengers movie. But instead of just narratively getting us past that, let's actually put some stuff in here that's really weird. And like we're gonna have Thor give up the axe and have it be there for long enough to have apparently grown roots. And then the next time you see him, oh wait, I need the axe now, so I'm gonna yank it up out of the ground, which looks like it's a few seconds, but also it's grown roots. So how long has it been?
Everything
it's really
about this
weird. That whole
and
first
like the characters react very weirdly to Thor being there. Like it's kind of clear that like Star-Lord is like, oh, this is a bit he does. This is a thing he does now.
Yeah. Like they're
And-
used to this and they're also done with it.
Yeah. And like to me, like you can also just like you can literally open this movie with like the Guardians of the Galaxy shoving Thor out an airlock because they're done with him.
Yeah. So, and I don't understand.
Like
why
that's
they
how
paid-
I thought this movie would start. It's like it is literally a Nebula kicking him out of an airlock because they're sick of it.
They paid
Yeah.
the entire cast of the Guardians of the Galaxy for the first 10 minutes of this movie for no reason.
All of them.
I mean,
All of them.
All right. Let me
You
back it
could've
up. It brought me
skipped
the
the-
goats, but
There are other
feel
ways
like-
to get goats.
I could have gotten the goats literally any other way.
Mhm.
Like, if they would have done... you've seen the opening to BoJack Horseman, where it's
Yeah,
just
no.
his face, and then in the background a bunch of stuff happens. Like, if they had just done that, just a still shot on Thor's face, and then, like... you
And
can
still
tell
set
there's
to Welcome to the Jungle.
there's like a battle going on in the background, and then like blood splashing on his face, and like, you know, like they imply of like time passes, but he like just gets like becoming increasingly bored and detached from the things he's like, from the action you can't see. Like that would have been a very compelling opening that does literally everything they wanted and costs no money.
Yeah.
Also, this movie needs to somehow bring Jeff Goldblum back, and it didn't.
No, I did like him a lot.
That was another failing.
There's a lot of missed opportunity in the film. Valkyrie didn't really do much. Could have done all kinds of cool stuff. Gore didn't do much. Russell Crowe didn't do much. Right? It was silly. It was
Russell Crowe
fun.
talked a lot about orgies.
There was lots of talk about a hero-gasm or god orgy or whatever he was doing. But it was great.
But the good thing is Natalie Portman looked fucking hot when she died. No cancer there. Not even a hint of that cancer.
Just, you know what? Like, Natalie Portman clearly got the short version of the Kumail. And a really great, and just the best hairdressing we've seen, I think.
Really a lot of vitality in her death repose.
Yeah.
Why do you get a wish?
Like, Eternity is... I don't like Cosmic Marvel, but I assume that Eternity is not normally a wish-granting figure. That's more of a living tribunal thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing. I honestly, one of the things that I liked most about the movie was when they went into Eternity's realm and we got a comic book accurate version of Eternity. I never would have expected
complete negatives. Like, the complete negative space is like, okay, I don't read Cosmic Marvel, but I do like weird Kirby drawings, and you did me a weird Kirby drawing.
Yeah, like it looked like the comic book looked, and it never made sense in the comic book either. And it was like, you know what? This is fantastic.
All right. Another thing that is just boggling my mind, okay? We've established that Mjolnir is sentient. And the axe is sentient. And the sword is also sentient. But at no time do we ever do anything with these three sentient weapons.
Except
they
kill
never
one of them.
interact with each other in any way. And why? Why not? The shit writes itself.
So another fan thing that Holden brought to me was that Stormbringer is not in itself sentient. It's not that the weapon is, it's that the hilt is from Groot.
Groot's just being petulant.
It's adolescent petulant Groot being petty and having FOMO and wanting to be involved all the time.
I don't think that's all right. Because anytime
now Holden saying that makes a lot of sense. That's a valid Holden interpretation of it.
Well, events. I don't think that's his interpretation. I know my son well enough to know that that's probably not his interpretation. It's something he heard somewhere.
The implication there is that anytime a piece gets cut off of Groot, it grows into a new sentient Groot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean that Xandar is just covered in Groot?
Oh man. Like, let's start the Nova TV show off where they're just like, the whole fucking city's covered in Groot. And you know what it does? What Groot wants.
We'll have to go to Planet Monsanto.
And you know what we can do about it? Goddamn nothing.
Planet Monsanto's got a new name now, Mitch. It's Planet Bear.
Forgot.
Monsanto,
it's
less well received by the public than Bayer. Let's not talk about where Bayer did business at certain years in the past.
So I guess I also don't understand the rules of wish crafting. I'm
no
hung up on this because, like, can he not use and statements and get everything he wants?
Right?
Again,
I don't know.
I feel like wishing in Marvel. We've only seen one other wish device, and it's very specific, very limited. Except sometimes it's not, because I guess Tony was able to make and statements with his wish. So you know what? It's a weird Kirby drawing. It does what it wants.
Why do Thor and Mighty Thor show up at Eternity also?
They were next door.
A doorway.
They were just kind of nearby.
Why is the Bifrost the key?
Why is the
Bifrost can do anything? Bifrost can do anything.
Why?
Yeah,
because
and why would
Heimdall had a game night with. Heimdall had game night with Eternity, and he needed to be able to get there.
There seem to
That's
be
why
s-
Eternity offered the wish. He just wanted to get some attention back.
there seem to be celestial paraphernalia around Eternity.
Yes, because okay, Kirby shit, Cosmic Marvel.
Yeah, it's all cosmic. It's
Yeah,
all part
I'm
of
not going to
cosmic
explain anymore.
bullshit.
It's just Cosmic Marvel Kirby shit. Who cares?
I mean,
Everyone has weird hats.
the thing is we're doing all this cosmic weird shit, and we haven't even introduced the Fantastic Four yet, which is that's just really bizarre.
And the Necro Sword, but we're getting a different Dark Sword out of the Eternals.
That is correct.
That's
With Jon
yeah.
Snow has got
Jon
that.
Snow will get a different not Stormbringer. Yes.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, every time that one has to be drawn, it has to draw blood. Am I thinking something else?
That sounds like a
It is
Sandlot.
also look. The Necro Sword is Stormbringer from the Elric stories, and the other sword is also Stormbringer from the Elric stories, because Michael Moorcock didn't sue enough people in the 80s, and now we just have too many Stormbringers.
Yeah, so it was the Ebony Blade. That's the one that
Ebony Blade.
That's the one that the Black Knight has.
Who's got
Michael
the ivory
Moorcock
blade?
needs to sue more people.
Those two swords come together in perfect harmony.
The Ebony
Influence
Blade
your elections.
was enchanted to cut through any object, to prevent the death of its wielder, and to deflect any magic. But it also carried a curse that would slowly corrupt any user and cause lust for violence, bloodshed, and death.
Do people just not make normal swords anymore? Is that
This
the
was made over
situation we got?
600 years ago. Fucking Merlin was involved in this one.
Look,
It's just like no one made swords except for this special cast of dicks.
yeah, they just really hate it. Like we are the only people capable of magic swordery, and we just fucking hate you because you like show up and say, "I want a magic sword. It's gotta have a weird, cool lion on it." And it
They
should,
hate-
and
They love making farm implements, but
Sure.
people keep coming to them asking for swords. So the deal is they're like, well, if we make the swords real bad, they're not going to come back and ask for more swords.
yeah,
But
yeah,
people keep coming back for more swords, so they just keep increasing the curses.
just the curse gets worse every time, so they can go back to shoeing horses.
Guys, have you seen this? Shit just grows out of the ground if you water it. Then you can eat it. This is miraculous. Stop cutting each other.
Sword, please.
Fine. This one makes you shorter every time you touch it.
Yeah, but does it slay?
Oh, it slices. It totally slices, but you will be shorter every time.
Gotta do what I gotta do. Can you make a gun that will wipe someone out of existence and also me?
We already
We might
did
have
that
already
one.
done it.
Isn't that the ultimate nullifier?
Indeed, it is. Ridiculous items of the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, there are a lot of them. So I was just checking because I was curious, since Scott was bringing up the Michael Moorcock of it all, and yeah. So the Ebony Blade first appeared in the Black Knight #1, which was published in March of 1955.
Oh shit!
Moorcock was only 16 years old at the time. So that's probably why he's not the one suing Marvel for this.
Is this that situation where James Franco rolls into Colbert and tries to out Silmarillion him? Is that what's happening here?
That is indeed what happened. I just assume, like, I know Michael Moorcock sued TSR once, and I just assumed he didn't sue enough people.
Did TSR have money to respond to lawsuits?
Not really.
Not really.
That's when they got. That's when they got bought by Wizards. They
here's
probably got
the
sued
deal, bitch.
enough to get get sold.
That would have been. They got sued enough to get bought by Lorraine and then Wizards.
Well, isn't TSR still a thing that's suing Wizards now?
That's a new TSR that is suing them because they were sued for stealing TSR's logos because they didn't actually have permission to use TSR's logos. Anyway, these guys are morons, and you don't need to go to their museum.
Oh, good.
We have a fucking museum.
It's it's a game store with a display case.
Learning is
Hey.
the worst.
I mean, that sounds like the Superman Museum,
Hey,
which I
Romeo,
have been through and actually want to go through again because they've got new stuff.
well, did you
Oh
just miss
shit,
your opportunity
Tony!
to
I
get down
keep
there?
Tony. At some point, you need to send me your mailing address because I bought
Don't
a
do it,
thing
Tony.
for you, and I keep meaning to actually send it.
Don't do
Okay.
it. It's crap. It's
All right.
crap. Don't do it.
We'll make
It's
it happen.
it's
That's a twat.
it's I will show it on stream to make him not worry about crap, but
I mean, it's
yeah,
not
no.
my
So a
house.
while back, the glorious Socialist Republic of Canada decided to put Superman on some money. And I was like,
Yeah,
and I was like, I will grab one of these for Tony,
that's
and then at
awesome.
some point I will remember his address to give it to him.
And
I
now
will
no
make
one
sure you
will
get
ever
that.
see this because we have a copyright violation.
Yeah, sorry, I've ruined it. I've ruined it.
Yeah, it's a good thing this camera isn't facing the other way. It's just nothing but Superman up
Yeah.
facing.
What do I have behind me? Oh, just mess. That's fine.
See, up there is the Sausage Fest flask. And over there is a Micah Ruzioni painting.
Gosh, I'm signed up for a convention that I don't know what it's about. It's coming up next month. Kokoro-con, I think is maybe the name of it. It seems to be cute anime themed. I tried to figure it out.
Oh,
Some bunny maids were at the butterfly house taking photos, and I was like, well, that looks interesting. What are you doing, bunny maids? And they told me. And they said, we're going to be at a convention. You should come. And I said, sure. And now that's what's happening.
I'm surprised I didn't hear about something like that since it was at the Butterfly House, because that's part of the facilities where I work.
I think they were.
Speaking of the facilities where you work,
Yeah.
last night I rolled into the botanical garden at 9:30 at
no.
night.
Oh, were you there to see the corpse flower?
I sure was. There was
Why?
a 3.5 hour line.
Mhm.
I still have never seen the corpse flower in person because I'm not going to wait in those lines to see a stankin' flower.
Mhm.
Did you get in to see it?
No, the dude at the gates so the hours were till midnight. The dude at the gates it's a 3.5 hour wait. Go home. Okay.
Sounds right.
That
Sounds
tracks.
Walking back to my car, this SUV plowed through this intersection, almost killed Libby. So just like a banner trip.
Wow.
Whew.
I was yelling at a guy. It was a whole situation.
Sounds like the Southwest Garden neighborhood.
I looked at a house over there.
I love the botanical garden. Would love to see that corpse flower.
I
I
mean,
can't wait in a 3.5 hour line.
yeah, they make such a big deal about the corpse flower that all these people come out and see it. The thing is we've now figured out the botany of it all, and they get that thing to bloom like once a year. It used to be like 7 to 10 years, and now they're getting those things blooming like every year. But people still make this gigantic deal about it. I think at least this year we haven't had to drop everything and set up webcams for it, which we've had to do in the past.
Oh my.
Yep. That's a thing our IT department does sometimes.
So I am looking at the page for
I don't know who the Doctor
Kokoro-con.
Games are. This individual is, but they're on fire tonight. If you're gonna go to that convention, you need to dress as a bunny maid.
I'm in. That's fine.
I'm getting low key furry vibes off this con website. I'm not saying that you need to bring
You would
extra
be a giant
equipment.
bunny, Mitch. That would be...
Oh yeah, I've seen those. I could be one of those. What, Flemish?
Oh yeah,
Oh, the Flemish giants.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I'm your Flemish giant bunny maid. Yeah.
I think that's Anna's preferred bunny.
Oh,
I think her last two.
I don't think I ever met her bunnies in person. I saw photos.
So the one of the other ridiculous things I've seen about this movie, circling back for just a second, was
yeah.
that there was an article I just read like just an hour before we started recording that apparently Taika wanted Russell Crowe to record his dialogue with a British accent, and Russell
as
Crowe,
is tradition.
yeah, and Russell Crowe said, "No, I want to do it with the Greek accent."
Like
And Taika's like, Taika's like, I don't think that's going to work. But he allowed him to record twice. He did it once with the British and once with the Greek.
well,
And
there
then
is a
Taika said, "You know what? I was wrong."
there is a
And he
credited
was.
dialect coach for Mr. Crow.
That was probably for the British that he
and
did use.
that's it. It's for Mr. Crow and for Miss Thompson, and I think that's for the British accent. Because if you tell me Russell Crowe just wandered off and was like, "Yeah, no, I'm going to figure out doddering Greek grandpa on my own," because apparently that's not endorsed.
Yeah. Oh, I thought Russell Crowe was great. Like, I
mean,
really enjoyed Russell Crowe as Zeus. And
like,
I'm
for-
okay if we see more of ridiculous Russell Crowe as Zeus.
Well, ridiculous Zeus is great. I appreciate how goofy he was. I think it's perfectly in character for Zeus to be that goofy.
Mhm.
I hope that a Thor with Venji Zeus and very hot Hercules does happen.
I hope so too. Like I did appreciate that we're getting a Hercules finally. And I just have a feeling that this is just all more of the coming together of Thunderbolts.
Oh my
Like it's just
fucking god!
one more character for
That-
Thunderbolts.
That could be a guy for T-Bolts, yeah.
Yep.
He's a T-Boltsy kind of guy.
Okay, the movies are getting worse, right?
It's there. The focus is definitely drifting. Like the screenplay level cohesion is not where it once was.
And there's a problem with continuity.
Many problems.
Sure.
There's a big problem with continuity, just thematic continuity, in that we had problems with the themes of multiverse before. We had problems with, hey, we're going to have 3 different actors play Spider-Man, but one dude be Doctor Strange. And then
They should have got that guy back from the not licensed movie.
They should have. They really should have. And you know what? They should have got that guy back from that Fantastic Four movie. Not the other 2, but that one.
Oh,
come on,
the
Tony.
Corman one that no one
Yeah.
talks about? Yeah.
Yeah. Somewhere I have a copy of that on VHS.
I hate the things coming out of your face.
Yeah. I think yeah, like just like basic screenplay level stuff is getting left behind. I know there's like a low key revolt from the VFX community on working on these now.
Loki's involved?
Yeah.
I think the trouble for me is like the thing I liked about the MCU was it seemed to have like set up this like platform out of which you could tell interesting stories, and the connections could be fun, and we could drive forward stuff. And like I knew what they were doing with Avengers, and I kind of knew what they were doing toward Infinity Stone, but like the individual component movies were still like interesting how they were like built this world. But now it's just what you said, like the focus is gone, the cohesion is gone. I have no idea where we are going and why we're doing it. The cosmic stuff seems just all silly now because Guardians was successful. So we just tried to, it's like they didn't know what was good about it.
Well, also
Could
the
we just do this
cosmic
more?
stuff is more threatening than Thanos, so that's where we have to go.
Right.
We just have to keep getting more. And
How is the
and that's
cosmic
problem.
stuff more threatening than Thanos, who was going to wipe out literally half of the universe?
I don't know. Some weird Kirby drawing was going to kill all the gods, and that was unspecifically bad.
Right? 'Cause
Yeah.
it didn't seem that bad.
It didn't seem that bad at all because they
Like
all
it
seemed
really,
like
like they literally, like the thesis is like gods don't help anyone, so he's going to kill all the gods, and
Right.
then consequences.
I mean, we're
I mean-
also told repeatedly there is no afterlife, but there's apparently an afterlife. So
Valhalla is the real one. If you were playing Pascal's wager,
Oh, boy.
Valhalla is the real one.
Gosh. These
Yeah,
days
I
of people
think
are
the
really
only- I think-
insufferable.
Yeah, I think the only thing that was bad about it was the fact that Thor was going to die, who is the only god we knew about or cared about, with the exception of the Moon Knight stuff until now.
Well, and it,
I mean, if they threatened Elephant Lady, like blood in the streets, blood in the streets.
the hippo lady.
The Hippo Lady. Yeah.
Hippo lady.
Oh yeah.
but then like I just thought that Thor was an alien.
But he's a
Like I don't know what it takes to be a
It
god.
makes no sense. Like, are the rest of the Asgardians gods? Like,
Is Valkyrie a god? Is
Valkyrie's
that her
king.
name or her job?
because then
It's-
because then Loki wouldn't be a god if he's a troll
He's a giant.
or he's a giant.
ice
So
giant.
does that mean the other
What?
ice giants are gods? How does this work?
How is Gore sorting for godliness on his stabbing priority?
How is he getting around?
Shadow
The
hopping,
shadows, right?
weird
Shadows
cages
between planets.
in black and white space.
The brighter the flame, the darker the shadow.
Oh, come on.
He's
Wait a
all
minute,
over
does he travel the same way that Cloak does?
Mhm.
Hmm.
That's going to be the next crossover.
I'm down for that.
The Hulu Cloak and Dagger show. It's going to cross over with Thor: Love and Thunder. If you haven't seen this Hulu show, this movie's going to make no sense.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess I go back to this thing. Like a friend of mine's brother is a writer and had pitched a Doctor Strange movie in the very beginning part of the Marvel stuff. He was invited in to pitch. He said Doctor Strange, and they were like,
Wow.
"No, we're not doing it," because what's been decided, there's going to be no magic in the MCU.
At one point, that was one of the things. Yeah.
And it's pretty clear, like in Thor 1, like this is just high-tech alien stuff that humans interpreted as gods and magic,
Mhm.
right? And that's the stories. And like Selvig even like lays that out.
Yep.
But sometime between then and now, they're like, no, it's magic. Okay.
Well, we have wizards now.
Right?
We have sorcerers
And witches.
and witches,
Well,
which
so-
may or may not be wizards with hats. I don't know, or sorcerers with hats.
And I'm also a little unclear about Wanda's actual origin story. For some reason, I thought she was an Inhuman in the Avengers 2 the first
They
time.
just said Inhuman in a teaser, and you could infer capital or not capital I, because
It wasn't a mist thing.
Feels
Per-
like they're doing a
per-
lot of that lately.
the Perlmutter wanted Inhumans to be a thing, and yeah.
Right.
Well,
Because they
it
didn't
had
have
to do with them not having the rights to mutants, and then fighting over. Like I still want to. I still would have loved to have been a fly in the wall of the Marvel Sony discussion, or the Marvel Fox discussion. Thank you. Of who got Wanda and who got Quicksilver, because they both show up in both, but then there's a clear dividing line of which one gets to keep one and which keeps the other.
You gotta, like, we'll kill our Quicksilver. You can't have Wanda as anything but a preteen. and it's yeah, there's definitely that discussion. I think I think there were a bunch of hasty renegotiations around characters that were like, are that like they say mutant in the comics, but is she on the list in the first document? And it's like, no. Oh, so the comics will just say she's not a mutant. And
Well, and the other problem was they the rights were just for this family of characters.
well, it was a very specific list, and we never
Well,
got to read
it became a specific list later, but the contracts were apparently vague enough that they had to go back and clarify them after the fact, which is why Sony just keeps trying to make the Morbiverse a thing, which
Look, I
which
don't.
is so weird that we're calling it that and not the Venomverse or
Because
the
it's
Spider-Verse.
Morbid time.
It's
Look, when they said, "Oh,
Okay,
hey, we're
so-
doing a Black Cat Silver Sable movie," I'm like, "Oh, two women in very tight outfits doing crimes. I will watch that movie even without it being tangentially related to a Spider-Man." But no, they
That-
canceled that one to give me
that one made
Morbius.
sense. That one made sense.
And I feel like even Morbius, which I assume is the sequel's title, will be great.
So I need to know because I'm familiar with some of the memes and I have not seen, nor do I think I will see Morbius.
There is
Mitch,
not enough.
is that line in the movie?
It's
No.
Morbid time? No.
No,
Okay,
why
I
would
didn't
why
think
would
so.
this is not?
I mean, from
This
all
is not
accounts,
the
movie was that
halcyon
bad,
days
though.
of 2004 when you would call Sam Jackson back into reshoots to say, "I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane."
right?
Yeah. Morbius wasn't terrible until the last 20 minutes. Right. Like it was fine. It wasn't great or anything, but like it wasn't awful. The last 20 minutes is just terrible.
When I saw the trailer for it, I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'll probably see this movie." And then I thankfully waited till the early reviews, and it was like, "Oh no, I don't need to see that movie. I don't need to see that movie."
Not even very high or very bored do I need to see this.
No,
Oh God.
I could be both,
Yeah.
but
Do you remember when you just watch a movie because it was on cable?
Dr. Doom's that's what's up. And like I feel like all the stuff with Morbius is the same as the kids these days talking about
Well,
gosh,
now
Shrek
they
or
rent
the
tuxedos
Doom
to go
movie.
see the Minion movie,
Right.
and it's the kids. It's
It's
what
a-
they do.
They pick
Fidget
a thing to make it a
spinners and
thing.
renting tuxedos to see the Minion movie. It's
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't care.
They
Carry
pick a thing to
on.
make it a
Carry
thing.
on with your nonsense, teens.
all I know is I've fallen into an advertising slash meme slash news cycle of
slash
people
far
who-
right slash insurrectionist slash overthrowing this government because it's illegal.
yes, all of that. But
And the Earth is flat and hollow.
there's this whole thing where people who like The Boys
Oh,
think that everything else is just garbage and is cringe and sucks
yeah, sure.
because it's not The Boys.
Have you never met nerds before?
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
I
this
have,
is
but this is
literally reminding
different.
me of people who read The Boys 20 years ago, actually.
Ooh.
Oh
So-
my god, these
But it's true for a lot of things. Whether it's The Boys or Rick and Morty or just about anything. Or what's the thing that everyone loves but everyone hates the people who love it? Christianity. Like any of that stuff like has the same problem. The IP might be fine, but it's the fanboys that really ruin it for everyone.
yeah. Oh, that's true of fans.
Yeah.
Just fans.
Right. And like I'm a fan of lots of things. But
I
some of them
am
I don't want to
too.
talk about it because I'm afraid that the other fans will then want to talk to me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm a fan of a band that had a lead singer that left in 1989.
Mhm.
Tony,
And
that's not a real time.
right?
I had a
and then the people who are fans of the band still fight over the fact that those 4 albums they made with that guy are the only ones worth listening to, not the other 16 that have come out from this band since. No, we're only gonna focus on those 4.
I had a calendar from despair.com, the people who make demotivational posters for work.
Sure.
And
Christ.
on one of the days, it was, August 17th, 1979, Aerosmith releases their first best of album. I'm like, oh no. So they started the greatest hits.
Yep.
How many farewell tours? How many farewell tours have they gone on?
How many farewell tours have Kiss gone on?
Oh God, I one day, like, this is the problem with Kiss is, like, there will be a last one. There will be a one where, like, oh no, literally after that, all 3 of them died in various incidents because they don't travel together because they hate each other and for the safety of the brand, but they hate each other. But then somehow it'll be Peter, Chris, and 3 holograms, and they will still be on farewell tour.
Yeah.
I showed some episodes of Gene Simmons' Family Jewels to my class for just such a great documentary about narcissism. Because my favorite, he's doing like an interview, and behind him is a glass case of Kiss paraphernalia, like action figures, but it's only his.
Yeah. That guy has this ego that is just beyond anything. It is just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. And you can see it sort of like envelop his children.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fun show.
I never watched that show. I don't like Gene Simmons.
Well,
I don't think the show would change your mind.
I just don't like him as a person.
There are not things to like about them.
Mm-mm.
Because Gene Simmons is not a person. He is a branding exercise in expensive shoes.
And now you're just talking like him, Scott.
I'm just a bit tired, so I'm drifting into Mitch Hedberg, which will, if I had another beer, it would drift into Bill Cosby from there. But I don't know.
Christ, what the
Hello.
what the fuck is going on?
You see, when I have too much, I just talk like Bill Cosby, and it's very unfortunate.
Gene Simmons' NPR interview with Terry Gross was just the stuff of legends. It's fantastic.
I'm not familiar with that. So I do watch the big interview with Dan Rather. And I've meticulously been watching it such that I'm trying to watch every episode of it of the people that I'm interested in, because they air like 3 a week on ATX TV, ASX TV. Sorry, and it's great. Dan Rather does really great interview, and he did one with Gene and one with Paul, and oh my God, Paul is almost like apologizing for having to deal with Gene, but he won't actually do it. And Gene is just like trying to control the interview from Dan Rather, which is just ridiculous.
There you go. I'll put a link in the chat to the Fresh Air Archive with the segment with Gene Simmons.
Oh boy.
Oh dear.
I'll have to check
Spend
that
some
out.
time talking about Terry Gross's mouth and what it might do.
Oh, Gene.
You know,
Oh,
NPR, God, what is the raunchiest possible thing NPR has ever talked about before then? Elbows, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is the closest NPR has ever been to lewd.
I know. I think
they don't even play Jelly Roll Morton.
she asked him what brand of face paint did you use? And it totally takes him out of it. He's like, what? No one's ever asked me that.
That's actually that's a viable and interesting question, because he would
is.
the people who Kiss's makeup team have very serious thoughts about that, about grease paint. Oh God, I wonder what the overlap on Kiss makeup artists and ICP makeup artists is. Do they talk? do they trade? Do they have tips for each other?
What's the Venn diagram of those?
Do they all know Jerry? Is Jerry the one guy who taught them all? I don't know.
There's a crossover in those subreddits.
Well, I mean, definitely on the fan side, but I'm just talking about like the actual like behind the scenes team.
Yeah.
That's which tours and when.
Oh, you almost think that Gene pissed somebody off, and then somebody at ICP's camp like hired them.
Like they just stole Terry, and that was it.
I mean that tracks. I mean, it just tracks that Gene pissed somebody off, and and that was that. I don't think I have anything else to discuss about this film or much else this evening.
So many child actors, all of them tolerable. How about that?
Yeah. And then they did this like, I do have that weird bit where he makes the children into soldiers. Like, if I like, this is a little bit like, I don't think that's cool. Child soldier plot, but also there's a weird like fine line between you're empowering them.
Yeah, it's not the Shazam ending. Mm-hmm. It's something not as good.
Well, and Sacha Baron Cohen did that thing of kindergartens where we're going to arm kindergartners,
right,
to help them.
Yeah, I mean, there was that, but also Gore wasn't actively doing anything bad to the children.
Except being weird.
He was being weird to them, but
he was being weird at them.
Oh, tearing something's head off was funny a minute ago.
So weird.
That was really weird, especially coming from somebody who was a father. But I guess you could always explain that away as the sword doing that. Like,
because Swords thinks decapitation's hilarious.
I mean, if I were a sword, I would probably think that decapitations were.
No, I think it's the other way around. I think that's like, oh, this is my fucking job. You know what? I don't want to think about right now? Decapitations. You know what I love?
But unless it's decapitations that weren't from a sword.
Oh, no, because that still work. That still work. Even if it's like, oh, 2 hands pulled a head off. I'm like, that's totally different. But it's still my job. It's like, I did not start watching bartenders on YouTube until after I stopped bartending.
And what's our next Marvel stuff? She-Hulk? Is that?
That's the TV thing.
She-Hulk. And movie is Wakanda Forever.
Oh, I'm nervous about Wakanda.
That's gonna be a mess.
There's been a million misses with Marvel so far.
All right, and
even Miss Marvel,
Black Panther.
Miss Marvel ended today.
It sure did. I liked Miss Marvel, beginning to end.
Stuff to talk about in the end, which is.
I've liked the first 3 episodes.
I won't say anything else.
Mitchell versus Machines vibe.
I haven't watched it. I think. Have you discussed the fact that Miss Marvel and Darth Vader went to the same high school? Has that come up at all?
Oh, that's exciting.
We haven't discussed it.
Oh, yeah. So the actress who plays Miss Marvel went to the same high school as Hayden Christensen.
Oh, I was not aware.
About 10 years apart, but it's
yeah,
just small world.
Fun fact: she used to bully him.
he just showed up one day to be like, "Hey, I'm Hayden Christensen. I'm here to talk to you about how great it was to go to high school. Don't do drugs. Look at me.
Give me your fucking lunch money, or I'll break your goddamn knee."
They'll throw sand at him because he hates sand.
Get this flamethrower for you. Watch your knees.
Nice. All right. Great. And then next week we're talking about.
I don't think they picked a thing. There was
we
no
didn't
thing.
pick a thing. You know what? We'll figure it out.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Oh, you know what I do want to do before my movie, because I, as part of the 1%, got trailers.
I got trailers. I got a lot of trailers.
Mitch, I got
Yeah.
trailers at my movie, so I got the full movie experience.
Oh, exciting.
I also got commercials. And something I do want to talk about. Hold on, I emailed myself the link to the thing. Some company gave a bunch of like BIPOC directors a bunch of money to make a series of short films.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
so
I did
they
see
had-
that trailer.
They had a little clip of each of the films, Rising Voices. So one of them is called Black Santa. So I was fucking in.
Gosh. When my kid was in gymnastics, he was the only white kid on the team for a while. And I was hanging out with the other parents, like moms and stuff. And it was around Christmas time, and they're talking about like their home Christmas traditions. And one of the moms says, "We don't do Santa because I don't want my kids to think some fat white guy is going to be the one who saves them." No offense, Mitch.
And I mean, on the one hand, it's really nice of her to think that you're nice enough to save children. Like anyone says that to me, I'm just saying, nah, fuck your kids. Don't give a shit about them.
That was good.
Anyway,
Yeah,
I'll
so
find
many
it.
things
Now.
called Rising Voices.
Yeah, well, it's sponsored by Indeed.
Okay.
Oh, great.
I'll send you the link to it.
Awesome.
Ilmengrad Productions. The second season of?
Yeah.
Wow.
At the beginning of the commercial for this thing, I was like, this looks fucking terrible. What is this bullshit gonna be? And then, like, midway through, they started showing clips from the different movies, and I was like, I'd probably watch these.
Back in.
Yeah. Unexpectedly interested.
Let's dig into that. Maybe there's some discussion to be had about these.
Yeah, because I'd like to do something not Marvel.
Mhm.
We've been on a tear before this where we were doing interesting movies. And I would like that.
We were, but we also did some not interesting movies.
But the interesting movies we did were all weird movies.
Weren't they also foreign movies?
They were also foreign movies.
Oh, what about that other one? I watched it forever ago. I already recommended it once before.
The Nun one?
No, that's a local movie. But yes, no. Animal World. It's the Chinese action film. It is wild.
Okay.
All right. Can I watch it on? What can I watch it on?
I think I saw it on Netflix.
Okay. All right, done. In.
Is it a 2016 movie?
Maybe I wanted to say it was 2018, but maybe it's
Oh,
just
this is
pre-pandemic.
not-
Michael Douglas in there?
That's the one.
Got it.
This
For
is
some
not.
reason-
That's not it. That's Animal Kingdom.
Animal World.
I typed Animal World, but Animal Kingdom came up.
Oh,
Because I was trying to use Decider to tell me where to. I could
It's
stream
Netflix.
it. Okay.
All right. I am tired of looking at your faces.
All right.
Oh my god, there's a live action Kenshin? Ugh.
Yeah.
Why are we doing that now? All right, I can't.
Well, that was made in Japan by people who I presume read Kenshin and liked it, as opposed to, I don't know, Netflix just cramming out another Death Note. They're doing another one, David.
Why? What the fuck? I mean, they could have just made the Kenshin movie just that, like a 2-hour cut of that Linkin Park music video that's set to Kenshin, and that would have just been fine.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously, just take Hybrid Theory and turn it into a Kenshin concept album.
Yeah, I would watch that. I would watch the fuck out of that.
I'm not saying I disagree with you. I would at least try.
Oh god, this fucking Bleach movie. All right, I can't. I'm getting caught up in this.
Get down the rabbit hole
Pull
of
the
jump
ripcord.
adaptations.
All right.
Ripcord.
Let's call it.
Yep.
See you guys next week. We will talk about Animal World.
Bye.